What does it take to protect modern organizations from evolving cyber threats? The answer lies in the powerful combination of security tools, threat detection, and intelligence response capabilities. In today's session, you will learn about Microsoft Defender, Microsoft Sentinel, Azure Security Services, and core key concepts. So let's get started.
So good morning everyone and welcome to our YouTube channel where we will be studying on SC-900. Now when I say SC-900, if you are new to security, please keep tuned to this session because you will be taking ahead and you can build your career in the security area. Today we will be focusing on the module number 3, but before moving on module number 3, let me give you an idea what this SC-900 course is all about. So when I say SC-900, it's all about the security fundamentals. If you're working in AI domain or if you're working in data domain, and if you want to leverage your career in security, best option, go with SC-900. So it's a beginner level course where you will be studying on the Azure product. Now, when I say Azure product, we'll see in the later stage what are the different Azure services which help us in leverage our security. So role after earning this course will be security engineer. Taking down, we will be having 4 modules, which will talk about the introduction to the security, to the compliance, and different identity concepts. Then we will be having the introduction on Microsoft Azure, which is one of the IAM tool. Now, when I say IAM tool, it will be all about your identity, from creation of your identity to protection of your identity on the cloud. Then we will be learning on the different Microsoft security solutions. Now, when I say Microsoft security solutions, so there are various Microsoft security solutions. It can be your Defender, it can be your Sentinel, or it can be your security co-pilot as well. Now, for some of you, you might be thinking like, what are these concepts? But stay tuned till the end. And in the end, you know all the things. Then in the 4th module, we will be discussing on the Microsoft Purview, which helps you in data protection, how it will be protecting your data, how it is recognizing your data, how it is protecting your data from moving outside the organization. But this course, it's a fundamental course. So we will not be going on the advanced level. It will be a beginner level course. So those who are starting their career in the security or those who are changing their domain, those who are early professionals, they can go with this security course, which is SC-900. Now, in this session, we will be talking about Microsoft Security Solutions, which will be the module number 3. Now, as I say module number 3, it will be consisting of various security tools. Now, when I say security tools, I have said few names before also, like Defender, Copilot, or it will be your Sentinel, Azure Firewalls, NSGs, all these things will be discussed in this session. But before starting, let me give my introduction, who I am, and let's go ahead. So my name is Nikita. I'm an MCT working in Cloud Tech from last 1 year. I have been delivered various trainings in the security domain only, which includes Defender, Sentinel, and across different certifications, 200, SC-200, SC-300, 900, MS-102, to various clients like Wipro, Accenture, TCS, Kyndryl, and other Fortune 500 companies. So this is a small glimpse about myself. Let's start the session and let's take a walkthrough on the different security tools. Now, in this particular session, we will be discussing these 5 topics. First one, which will be the security co-pilot or the Microsoft Copilot. Second, how we will be leveraging our infrastructure security. Now, when I say infrastructure security, it will be your Azure security. So we will be discussing on the Azure security here. What are the different management capabilities in Azure? Then the capabilities of Microsoft Sentinel and the threat protection using Microsoft Defender XDR. So overall, we will be discussing 3 different tools. First one, it will be your Copilot. Second one, it will be your Sentinel. And third one will be your Defender. Now, when I say Copilot or Sentinel, Defender, these are either your Azure service or it be your M365 service. So we are having 2 kinds of products which Microsoft offers to you. As I said, first one will be your Azure products and second one will be your M365 services. In this entire course, some or the other product will be your either Azure or your M365 service. Now, the question comes, what's the difference between these two courses? Now, if I say if any of your product is your Azure product, it means that for it, you will be requiring the subscription. Now, subscription, because we will be deploying our resources, we will be giving the security over the Azure product, or we can say Azure portal. Now, to access your Azure portal, basic requirement is the subscription. So you can go with pay-as-you-go model, or you can go with prepaid plans as well. Then the second product which comes into the picture is your M365 products, like your Teams. If you are using SharePoint, Intune, you are using Copilot, or let's say you are using Defender, Intra, Purview. All these are your M365 services. Now, to access all your M365 services, you will be requiring the license. Now, for example, let's say I'm having 500 employees in my organization. Now, to access or to give or to provide the security to all those 500 employees, you will be requiring 500 licenses. So you can remember one thing, that number of license will always be equal to number of employees. If you want to give them security, assign the license. Now, whatever license you will assign, according to it, the security will be given. Either you can go with E3 license or you can go with E5 license also. We are having business licenses also. We are having enterprise level licenses also, depending on the capabilities and the number of employees. If you want business level license, then your company size should be less than 300. But if you want to go with, let's say, enterprise level of license, you can have more than 300 employees in the organization. Now, it can go to 500, it can go to 1 lakh, it can go to 1,000. Accordingly, you can assign the license to your users. Now, your enterprise comes with E3 or E5. So this is a small description of the two products which Microsoft is offering you. First product, which will be your Azure product. So to access your Azure product, you will be requiring one subscription. And second one is your M365 product. Now, to access your M365 product, you will be requiring the license for the same. Now, first we will be discussing on this Microsoft Copilot for Security. Now, when I say Microsoft Copilot for Security, it means how your Copilot can help the security professionals, how your Copilot can help your SOC team, how your Copilot can help your security engineers, cyber attackers, how it is helping in the protection. Now, you all know what is Copilot. You are using in your day-to-day life. Maybe you're for writing any mail, you are using Copilot. For writing any document, for writing any, or let's say you want to write a PPT, anything, you are using Copilot. Now, what do you understand by the term Copilot? So let's move to the next slide. Now, when I say Copilot, Copilot is one of the Gen AI tools, or we can say enterprise Gen AI tool. Now, again, the question will come, what is Gen AI? So Gen AI basically means which will help you to give the prompts, which will help you to understand your language. And it can help you to generate the text. It can help you to generate the images. It can help you to draw the tables, to draw the graphs, to create the videos, and so on. Now, can you think of some of the Gen AI tools apart from Copilot? It can be your ChatGPT. It can be, let's say, your Claude. It can be, let's say, DeepSeek. It can be your Gemini. But organizations are more inclined, or we can say organizations are more promoting the Microsoft Copilot. Now, Microsoft Copilot, why? Can you search a question like, is Copilot safe? Can we upload our data there? Just search it and get the answer, like what does it say? So the answer will be, after searching it, you will get to know that yes, Security Copilot, or I'm using Copilot Chat, that is safe. Now, if I'm using the Copilot for the security purpose, it will be a Security Copilot. If I'm using for the GitHub purpose, it will be GitHub Copilot. Now, our concern will be the Security Copilot. Now, We'll understand what is Security Copilot, what are the different terminologies when it comes to the Microsoft Security Copilot, the prompts, what are the different elements of effective prompting, and how you can enable Microsoft Copilot in your security environment. Now, as we have already discussed that Microsoft Security Copilot is one of the Gen AI tools, which is helping the security professionals to detect the threats, to respond to those threats, to analyze the threats in a faster manner. So why we are using Copilot? To increase our productivity, to do the smart work. That's why security should leave behind. Security should also use the security copilot in their environment so that your security professionals, your security analysts can be benefited out of it. So it is based on the LLMs. LLMs is your large language models on which your security copilot is built using the training data, the testing, and deployed one model. It integrates with your Microsoft as well as your non-Microsoft services. If I want to integrate, let's say with Cisco, I want to integrate with AWS, I can easily integrate my Copilot and use in their environment. It uses machine speed. If you are using, let's say, good compute services, your response time will also decrease. You will be getting the response, let's say, within a fraction of seconds. And it's an enterprise data protection. So EDP it is following, which means that it is not using your data to train the model, to test the model. No, it is only helping you to do your work faster in a quicker way. Now, when I use Security Copilot in my environment, it will be helping me in these 4 topics. Now, it will help me in the incident summarization. Now, when I say incident summarization, let's say a ransomware attack has happened or a phishing attack has happened, and I am a early professional. I started my career in one of the company and as in a security domain. Now, the team comes to me or my manager reports to me and my manager says me that please tell me what this incident is talking about. Now, I don't know phishing, I don't know ransomware, then what I will do? In that particular scenario, we can take the help of Microsoft Security Copilot, which will help me in the incident summarization. It will give me the entire summary when the incident has happened, on which device it has happened, what are the different alerts involved, what are the different cloud resources are involved in it, what are the different applications involved in it. So giving from the start to the end how the attack has happened on that particular asset. Second will be the impact analysis. Now, when I say impact analysis, how much impact it is leaving on that particular asset. Maybe let's say it's the machine of your manager or it's my storage account. So it will give me the severity, what things I can do, how I can protect my environment in that particular scenario, what policies I need to take, how I need to create those policies, whether I need to block the account, whether I need to ask for the password reset, what are the different things that can be done. So it will give me the recommendations as well. And I can work on those recommendations. Second will be the reverse engineering. Reverse engineering in the sense the attack has already happened on the asset. Now, whenever I will be saying asset, it means it can be your identity, it can be your devices, it can be your cloud resources, or it can be your, let's say, any Office 365, it can be your SharePoint, it can be your Teams, it can be your Outlook, or it can also be the different workloads or applications. So it helps you in the reverse engineering. Attack already has happened on the asset. Now, how it has happened, what are different stages it came across. Now, for you, we follow PET. Now, PET is one of the model, which is an attack model, how the attack is happening on any of the asset. Now, PET stands for prepare, enter, traverse, execute. P stands for your prepare, E enter, T will be the traverse, and E will be the execution, or we can say execute. Now, when I say prepare, now if I want to attack your device, or if I want to attack your email ID, what preparation I will be doing, how I will be attacking, how which device I will be attacking, whether I will be targeting you or whether I will be targeting your managers, your CEOs, who will be my targeted resource, or I can say who will be the targeted victim. So some preparation need to be done for. Maybe I will be writing some malwares, maybe some viruses that I want to inject, some phishing websites I will be creating, then entering that targeted resource. Let's say Ajay is my victim on whom I want to target. So how I will enter in that in Ajay's device, maybe with the help of some USB, maybe with the help of some code, or maybe some, let's say, phishing websites, how I will be moving in the Ajay system. So that will be the enter. Third will be the traverse. Traverse means from Ajay, I want to move to, let's say, Mohan, who is his manager. Maybe from Mohan, I want to move to Bhavesh, who will be the HR. Maybe from Bhavesh, I want to move it to Sushil, who is, let's say, he's from marketing. So from Ajay, I want to move it to Mohan, who will be the manager. From manager, I want to move it to Bhavesh, who is the HR. So moving from one system to another. So what are the different tactics or different techniques I will be following to do this stuff? And third one will be the execution. What is my motive to enter in Ajay's system? I want to get the control over the whole organization. I want to leak the data. What is my motive? So from execution till prepare, it will give me entire story, how the attack has happened, from where it started, how it has entered my organization, how what preparation he has done. So Copilot will help you in the reverse engineering. And the next will be the guided response. It will not do the protection. It will not create the policies. No. It will only give you the recommendations that you need to do this. You need to go in this particular direction. You need to do this remediation. You need to do this contamination. It will give you the recommendations. It will give you step-by-step procedure which you can follow to protect your environment. Next, so Security Copilot comes in two experiences. First one is your standalone experience, which here you can see. So you will be having a dedicated Security Copilot portal, which looks like this, where you will be having different prompts. Once you give the prompt, it will give you the answer. Let's say I have given the prompt, generate summary of incident 1432, for example. So it will give me the entire summary of incident 1432. Or maybe I want to check, generate failed logins. So it will give me all the failed logins which has happened, let's say, in last 3 years. If your manager asks you to do this stuff and manually check it, it will take time. But with the help of the Security Copilot, it will be done in a fraction of seconds. So first experience which you will be getting is the standalone experience. Second experience which you will get will be your embedded experience, in which your Security Copilot will be embedded in your services. Now, this is your Microsoft Defender portal. Now, in this Microsoft Defender portal, here you can see your Security Copilot is embedded. So rather than going on the dedicated portal for Security Copilot, I want to use my Security Copilot in the tool itself. That's also possible. Now, when you understand these terms, or when we go with these technologies, let's say Copilot, so there are some terms that you should know. First one is the session. Second one is your prompt. Third one is the plugin. And fourth one is the orchestrator. Now, session on the Copilot which you are working on, which environment or what conversations, what is the current conversation you are having with Copilot. That will be the session. Prompt, what statement you will be giving. Let's say I am giving a generate summary. Now, this is not an effective prompt, but for your understanding, generate prompt, it's your prompt, which I am giving in the prompt bar. So this is your prompt bar. Second is the plugins. connecting with the respective data sources. Let's say I want to connect with Microsoft data sources. I want to connect with non-Microsoft data sources from where you want to fetch the information. If I have given generate summary, then for this particular scenario, I need to connect with Defender data source. Next is the orchestrator, who is organizing all your things. Now, if you have seen in the music, if you have heard or if you have seen any video, there's an orchestrator who is from his hands, he is helping the person to play the instruments. That is an orchestrator. Giving the prompt, from generating the responses, and if any modification is required, then doing those modifications as well. Let's go on the portal and let's have a look there. Just 1 minute. Yeah. So as I said, we are having two experiences. So this experience is your standalone experience. So first is your prompt bar. So this is your prompt bar, in which you can see how can Security Copilot help, in which you need to give your respective prompts. And this is my session. If I want to see my previous sessions, you can go here from the top, my sessions, click here. You can see 4 sessions are there, when they are last updated, when they are last created. So if I just click in on one of the prompt, yeah. So it has given me the last 3 failed logins. You can see the information. It has given me the name, it has given me the user ID, it has given me the request ID, date, time, the display name, which device he is using, which browser he is using, everything. What is his location, what is the status, what are the different conditional access policies have been applied. Then for the second user, the same details is mentioned. You can scroll down if you want to modify it. You can modify it, but you should know how to write the prompts. So we have seen this is your prompt area, or we can see a prompt bar. Here you can give your respective prompt. Here is the data sources. If I click on the sources, these are your different plugins. You can see plugins mentioned here. So Microsoft plugins, let's say Azure Firewall, Web Application Firewall, Workbooks, and many more. Defender XDR, Intra, Intune, or I want to connect with Microsoft Threat Intelligence, natural language processing, and so on. If I want to go with the non-Microsoft one, here also you can see RouteSec is there, CyberArk is there, Darktrace, many more. You can connect with your environment, you can connect these plugins and start using the Security Copilot there and taking the advantage of it. Second thing that comes into the picture is your settings. Now these settings are very important. Who is the owner? Who is managing the Security Copilot? How is managing it? What are different things that is required? So your Security Copilot is your Azure service. Now for it, you will be requiring subscriptions. You will be requiring the resources. You will be requiring the compute unit. Now when I say compute unit, it means the computing capacity. So what computing capacity you has given, for that your models are built. So if I go on usage monitoring, right now it's showing me 0 units because I haven't consumed all my respective units in last 1 year. Now you can see the data has come, it has changed to 500 units. If I want to change the data, let's say last 3 days, so it has given me the data of the last 3 days. If I want to change the workspace, if I want to go in a different subscription, I can easily go with. So this is the standalone Security Copilot, which I can use. Now, what was the second Copilot, which we have discussed? It's embedded approach. Now, if I go on the security portal, which is your Defender portal, and let me show you, if I open one of the incident, let's say if I open the ransomware attack which has happened, it has given me the response. Now the Copilot started its work. It will give me the summary, the entire summary is there. Then if I want to try it, how I can do it, or different attacks happened on that device, what it contains, what are the different things which have been completed, or new things just coming in that environment, every detail is mentioned here. So Security Copilot is very helpful to your respective teams. If I close this one, here you can see Security Copilot. Now, if you are new, let's say, and you want to understand this incident graph, it's a horrible, because only I can see the circles and I can see only the lines. But with the help of the security copilot, it's very easy. You can see 50 alerts are there for this particular incident. 13 assets are involved in this particular incident. 5 investigations has been done. Evidences, you can see 109. What are the recommended actions? These are 42. So with the help of security copilot, it's very easy to help or your security person to understand any of the complex incident. Now let's move again to the slide deck. Yeah, so we have seen session, we have seen prompts, we have seen plugins and the orchestrator. Now these we have covered on the portal, that what are different plugins and how we can add those plugins into the environment. Now, how your security prompt, or you can say your security copilot, process any of the prompt. Now, when you give any of the prompt to your security copilot, let's say I am giving generate summary of the incident 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, to generate the summary of this incident, the orchestration will come. It will determine, or it will check what context, what you want to get, what information you want to gain from this copilot, or we can say from this particular prompt. So this is saying that I want a summary. So copilot need to generate the summary for the same. Then it will be building your context. It will analyze the incident. Okay, I want from the incident 1, 2, 3, 4. What I want the summary for the same. Then going on the plugin. Now to fetch the information for your incident 1, 2, 3, 4, it will be requiring the respective plugins. Now, as I said, when it comes to the incidents, we are going on the Defender portal, which is your security portal, to fetch the information. So it will fetch your entire information from here and then giving you the response, combining all the dots from, maybe let's say your incident is there on intra ID, it's on the application, it's on your identity. So what we have seen like few seconds before, the assets, the attacks, the alerts, the recommended actions, everything it will combine and give you the response. And then you can check the respective response, okay, how it is working, or what is the summary of my incident from the start till the end. How it went to the preparation, then how it went to the enter, how it traversed it, how it done its execution. Now, how we can give the effective prompting. Now, when it comes to the effective prompting, we follow GCES. Now, what is GCES? Now, it's not only for the security copilot. If I'm using copilot chat also, it's very useful. So G stands for your goal, what you want to search. Now, in terms of security copilot, I want to gain the information, or I want to gain the summary. If you're using copilot check, I want to write an email. Why you come to the copilot? What is your purpose? What information you want? Second is the context. Now, why you will need it? Why, let's say your manager asked for, or maybe you want to give an email, anything. Now, what is your context? Second is what is the expectation? What is the format? I want the summary in 10 to 50 words. Let's say I'm writing an email and then I ask what I want an effective mail for my manager for a lead in 10 words. So what is the expectation? Or if I'm writing any sort of a document, or I want a PowerPoint presentation, you can give the format also. Like I want the data, I want the information in this particular format. And then comes the source, that will be the plugins. If we talk about security, connecting it with Purview, connecting it with Defender, connecting it with your Azure portal, and then giving you the answer, and then giving you the response. If you're talking about, let's say I'm using Copilot check, then connecting with your Outlook, connecting with your Teams, and then giving you the respective response. So you should remember, and it's a suggested way, that always give an effective prompt. Why? Because whatever prompt you will give, its response you will get. So if you're not giving an effective prompt, you will not get your dedicated response, what you actually want. Now, second comes the provisioning capacity, which will be your compute capacity. I want 1 unit, I want 2 unit, how it will process your data, how fast it will process your data. So you need to give the capacity. You need to set up in your environment. By default, it will not be there. If I'm having E5 license, I don't have the security copilot. I need to have the add-ons for the same. And then the permission. Now, as I said, everyone can't access security copilot. So there are two permissions that we should have if we are having the intra roles. And second one is the Azure roles. Now, intra roles will be your M365 roles, and Azure roles are the same. Now, what Azure roles, or we can say what intra roles can be there, or which you can use to access your security copilot. If anyone knows, it's a great, but don't worry, I will tell you everything. So, intra roles, either you can be a global admin, or you can be a security admin to access your data or to access your security copilot. If I'm not having a global admin role, or if I'm not having a security admin role, you can have the respective Azure roles also. Now, what can be the different Azure roles? Can you think of it? The first role which you can use, it can be your owner, or it can be a contributor on the resource group. Now, minimum which you can give is your contributor role. Contributor role will be required to access your security copilot. If you're talking about intra roles, if you're having global admin role or security admin role, then also you can access your security copilot. Now, if I show you that on the portal, if I go on the standalone, and here we will be having, or we can see the different settings. Now, right now I'm having 500 units. Not capacity name, what is the subscription ID, the resource group, then role assignment. So either you can be an owner or you can be a contributor. Minimum, it's the contributor. If I want to see who are the different owners, you can see it's a global administrator, an M365 role. Security administrator, again an M365 role, or if someone is having the Azure role also, he can also manage your security copilot. And second is the contributor role. So either you can have a contributor role or the owner role to access the security copilots. Moving ahead, now we will be discussing on how we can maintain the core infrastructure security. Now, when I say infrastructure security, it will be your virtual machines, how you can protect your virtual machines, how you can protect your workloads. Can you think of different ways in protecting your workload? Let's say I want to protect my virtual machine. Can you think of it? It can be your NSG, it can be your firewalls, and the other ways are also there by which you can protect your workloads. If I am using the storage accounts, I can use the key vaults and so on. So first, we will be discussing on DDoS protection. Now, before going on the DDoS protection, first we need to understand what is DDoS. DDoS means it's a distributed denial of service. Now, if you remember, if you're visiting Amazon or if you're visiting Flipkart, sometimes what happens, the website becomes down. Or let's say I have given the JEE exam and I want to see the result, but due to the huge traffic, the system goes down or your website is not responding. That is the DDoS, by which the attacker try to inject the huge amount of traffic on the resources by which and you can't be able to access it, or the site or the resource become unresponsive. Now, to overcome this particular challenge, if I'm using Amazon, if I'm using Flipkart, I'm using my virtual machine, storage accounts, anything, and I don't want that my resources should go under unresponsive, I can use Azure DDoS protection. Now, what this Azure DDoS protection will do? It will always monitor the traffic, what traffic is coming in, what traffic is going, and accordingly, it will give the protection. It will be doing your adaptive real-time tuning. When the traffic is high, its services become, or it becomes more active. If the traffic is low, it will behave accordingly. It will be doing your telemetry, monitoring, and alerting. And if someone, let's say I am the attacker and I'm going and want to attack your AWS websites, or I want to attack any of your virtual machines, it will also give the alerts for the same. So DDoS protection helps you to make your resources in a responsive manner. It can be your virtual machines, it can be some of your applications, and so on. Next will be the Azure Firewall. Now, one question comes to your mind, what is a firewall? So firewall, it's a kind of a protection. It's a kind of a security layer which will be giving the security to your resources, which will be giving to the security to your IPs, your ports, applications, everything. So it will be your overall security. Now, when I say overall security, it means what traffic should come in, what traffic should go out, doing the threat intelligence, protecting your environment only. Next thing will be your antivirus. Now, this question is for you. Please search what is the difference between a firewall and an antivirus. And in the next session, we will discuss that what's the difference between a firewall or an antivirus. Now, to help this or to better understand that how to protect my environment, we can integrate with Microsoft Security Copilot. Now, if I want to do the integration, we have already seen that how I can do the integration with the help of the plugins. Yes. Connecting with the environment and protecting my different virtual machines, protecting my environment, protecting the different applications there. Firewall will only do the protection. It will give the alerts, it will deep investigate it, but only the protection. Next is your NSG. Now, NSG will also give the protection only. It also works at your network layer. Which traffic should come in, which traffic should go out, who can access my virtual machine, or what my virtual machine can access. Now, I have said two statements. First statement is now, what is the difference between them? Who can access my virtual machine? It means whosoever is using the internet, if he is having the RDP or he is having the ports and everything, IPs, whether he will be able to access my machine over the internet. And second, what my VM can access, what ports that VM can access. So your NSG works at your NIC, network interface card. So what traffic will be coming in, what traffic will be going out. So it will help you to create the inbound rules and the outbound rules. Its work is only to see which traffic should come in, which traffic should go out. That's it. Now let's go on the portal and let's have a look at how we can create the different NSGs. If I go on my respective portal, it's here. Yeah. So this is your Azure portal, which you can also navigate. And let's go on the virtual machine. So I have created one virtual machine for you, which is my VM. If I want to go here, you can see the IP, you can see the virtual network, subnet, DNS is not configured, everything you can see for my respective VM. If I go in the network settings, you can see inbound port roles, outbound port roles. Now, what is the difference between inbound and outbound? It basically means inbound means who can access your VM. Simple as that. And outbound means what your VM can access. So if you have given, let's say, TCP, or if you have given HTTP, only that can access. Now, if you want to allow it, you want to deny it, what action you want to perform, that you can give it here. Second is the outbound, what your machine can access. Let's say you want 80 port number to be accessible, you can give its priority, you can give the rule. Here also you can check your VM, or what you can do, you can just search for NSG, network security groups. Now, when you create any of the VM, your NSG will automatically be created. So let's go here. Now, here you can see RDP is there, port number is also there, TCP is there. Anyone can access my resource, and access is allowed. If you want to deny, you can deny also. You can see outbound security rules. There are different outbound security rules. You can add it, you can delete it. If you want to create the inbound, you can go with the inbound. So you need to protect your VMs. For that, you need to create the NSGs. Now, this is the NSGs. We have discussed the various DDoS protection, how your DDoS protection will be working in the environment. Now, for the storage accounts, we go with the key vaults. Now, key vaults, it's nothing. It's like, we can say a locker, where you will be storing the keys, where you will be storing its lock. Now, you are accessing, let's say, the storage accounts, you are accessing the different services, you're accessing, or you're creating any of the APIs, you can store its key. You have applied the lock on that service. Let's say when you are going out of your home, what do? You just apply a lock on your home and you take the key with it. Similarly, it's a same way you lock your storage account and you store that key in the Key Vault. Now, Key Vault is a secure way in which you can provide protection to your respective data sources, or we can say the different resources. You can create on any of the key vaults and store there. Now, if I just go on the create, let me choose one of the resource group. Okay. Let it be created. I hope you are enjoying this session. Please be tuned to learn more on different security portal. We have discussed one of the security portal, which is a security co-pilot, how it is leveraging or how it is helping your security environment. Now we will be discussing the second half. That will be your defender portal. So, but before that, let's have a look on it. Let me go to the resource. Okay. You can see here in the objects, here you can store the key and here you can store the secrets for the same. So if you want to store the key, you can just import the particular key here. If you want to store the secrets, you can store your secrets here and certificates. And then giving the access, who can access this particular key vault to manage the identities, to protect your certificates, to protect your secrets, to protect your keys here. Let's go on the deck again. So till now, we have seen how we can create one of the NSG, how we can create the security co-pilot, how we can leverage the security co-pilot into the environment. Now we will be discussing on the different areas, how your security co-pilot will be helping in protecting, or how it will be helping your different, let's say your defender, your sentinel. But before moving to defender or sentinel, we should know what actually defender is or what actually sentinel is. One sec. So we have taken, yeah. Now, before moving to Defender for Cloud, let me take you or let me explain you what actually Defender is. So let me remove this one. Yeah. So one of the service of your security, of which help you in providing the security, is your Defender. Now, Defender is your M365 service. Now, when you say M365 service, as I said, for it, you will be requiring the license. Now, your Defender will be helping you in doing the investigation of the different alerts or incidents. It will be helping you in doing the detection. It will be helping you in doing the remediation. It will be helping you in doing the automation. So it's one of your security suite, which will help you in the automation part, which will help you in the investigation, in the detection, remediation, and automation. Now, the second question comes to, what can I access Security Copilot? So the answer will be if you have the license and the role. Now, role plays a key role when you're using either the Azure services. It can be your Sentinel, it can be your, you want to create a VM, you want to create a storage account, or you are accessing the M365 services. So for both the things, you will be requiring the license or the subscription and the role. Now, if I want to access the Defender, I will be requiring either of the role. Either I can go with the global admin role, or I can be your security administrator. Once you have the role and the license. Now, as I said, you can have your E3 license or E5 license. So both the things will be required. Role will also be required and the license will also be required. Now, I'm having the roles, I'm having the license. Now, can you think of the different attack surfaces or where the attack can happen? It can be the devices which you are using. Let's say I'm using my laptop, I'm using a mobile, I'm using tablet. So all your devices or your identities. Now, whether it's the cloud identity, whether I'm using Okta, I'm using AWS, I'm using Azure, any of your identity. Then the applications, any of your application, GitHub, I'm using, let's say, WhatsApp, I'm using Telegram, I'm using Salesforce, any of your application, it can be your attack surface. Attack surface in the sense how the attacker can get into your asset. What are different areas on which your attacker can attack? It can attack on your device, it can attack on your identity, it can attack on the application which you are using in the environment, it can also attack on the workloads. Now, workload in the sense, it can be your VM, it can be the storage account, it can be your, let's say, virtual network, anything. If you want to give the protection, just use Defender. Then it can be your Office 365 also. Let's say your Outlook, from getting phishing mails, from getting spams, from getting malwares, any sort of Office 365 services. Or it can be your the different network. It can be your OT device. It can be any of your device, any of your asset. If you want to give the protection, or what are different attack surfaces if someone asks you. So these all are the different attack surfaces. Now, this Defender will provide the security for your device, for your identity, for the applications, workload, and different other services as well. Now, if I'm going with device, so there will be a Defender for endpoints. If I'm going with, let's say, application, it will be Defender for cloud applications. If I want to go with workloads, it will be Defender for cloud. So there are various capabilities of Defender. Now we'll understand each one of them. So one first capability is your Defender for endpoint. Now, when I say Defender for endpoint, it means your endpoint devices, your client devices, your servers. Now, it can be your Windows, it can be your Linux, any of your device. If you want to give the protection, go with the Defender for endpoint. And everything is manageable on the security portal. Second one is Defender for identity. To protect your identities, to protect your cloud-based identity or your on-prem identity. Third one is Defender for cloud apps. Just the next one will be Defender for cloud applications. If I want to protect the different workloads, it will be Defender for cloud. Now, when we say Defender for endpoint, it means protecting your endpoint devices. Now, endpoint devices, as I said, it can be your servers, it can be your Windows device, Mac device, Android, anything. If you want to protect it, go with endpoint. Identity, as I said, it will be your different identities. It can be your cloud identities. It can be your on-prem identity, cloud apps, any of your cloud apps. It can be a Microsoft one as well as your non-Microsoft one. And next one is the Defender for Cloud to protect your different workloads. Now, workloads in the sense virtual machines, your storage accounts, anything, any resource you create on the Azure or non-Azure platforms. So let's go on the slide deck once again. Yeah. So first we will be discussing on Defender for Cloud, which help you to protect the different workloads. So here we will be having the CSPM and CWPP and DevSecOps. CSPM is Cloud Security Posture Management, which will give you the recommendations, which will help you in the protection, which will help you to how you can leverage or how you can improve your posture, how you can protect your environment. Let's say I have deployed the virtual machine. So how I can protect that virtual machine? I need to go with NSGs. I need to create the firewalls. Maybe if it's come to storage accounts, I need to create the key vaults. So it will give you the recommendations on how I can improve the posture management, how I can improve the security of that connected resources. CWPP will be the workload protection, which will give the protection, which will give the actual protection to your different workloads. Now, it can be your servers, it can be your containers, storage accounts, or the other workloads which is deployed on Azure or maybe AWS or maybe Oracle anywhere. Next is the DevSecOps, when I will be working on Terraforms, when I will be working on Ansible, when I will be using the infrastructure as a code. So if you want to give their protection, there also your Defender for Cloud comes into the picture. Now, how it improves the security? It will give you the benchmark. Now, benchmark in the sense, according to the benchmark, according to the security you have set up, it will give you the recommendation. Let's say here, if you see in this particular image, network security is missing. So I need to go with the network security. How or what best practices I can go with, in which I can protect the workloads, I can protect my data and other cloud resources. So it will be the compliance, or I can say regulatory compliance. And Defender for Cloud works it. Defender for the Cloud will be continuously accessing your data 24/7. What resources you're accessing, whether you are following the proper benchmark or not, whether you are following network security, you are using different policies, whether you are following all the recommendations or not, accordingly, it will give the protection. Next is your CSPM. Now, CSPM is your Cloud Security Posture Management. So giving the recommendations. So how you can improve your posture, continuously accessing your resources, and accordingly, it will generate the score. And after fulfilling all your recommendations, you can improve your secure score. Let's say right now it's 58%. If you, let's say I have followed 2, it can go to 60% or it can go to 70% as well. So considering your misconfigurations, considering all your weaknesses, let's say while creating a VM, I have missed encryption. So it will give me suggestions, okay, you need to go through the encryption. Or if I have, let's consider one example, I have created one storage account, okay, and that storage account, I make it public. Biggest blunder. So what CSPM will do, CSPM will help me and tell me, okay, you have created one storage account which is public in nature and you need to make it private. So all the recommendations it will give, it even you can collaborate or connect with the Copilot also to better understand the recommendations, to better improve your posture management. Next is your CWPP, which will be your actual workload protection. Doing the vulnerability scanning. As I said, it's a multi-cloud security. So whether your resource is created on, let's say, AWS, whether your resource is created on Azure, whether your resource is on on-prem, anywhere. So it will give the security for the same. It will do the threat protection. It will give the alerts. This machine is exposed, or it is having attack has happened on this device, ransomware attack, or someone is trying to access your resource, everything. So it will give the enhanced security. So your configurations need to be done, and accordingly, it will give you all the capabilities what your CWPP need to give. For the SecOps, as I said, when you will be working on Terraforms, when you will be working on infrastructure as a code, when you will be connecting with GitHub, when you will be connecting with Ansible, it will give you the recommendations. Like you have done this misconfiguration, you need to take care of this misconfigurations. So it will help you, it will prioritize also. Let's say I am having 3 alerts. Let's say alert number A, alert number B, and alert number C. So this A number alert is not a prior, or we can say it's not an high level alert. It's a low level. C is your high. So it will tell you, okay, first remediate the C level alert, and then you can go with B or you can go with alert A. So according to its severity, it will prioritize all your alerts. Now, Defender for Cloud is the only solution which we need to monitor on Azure Cloud, because here we are talking about the resources. Now let's have a look on the portal. So if I come up here and if I search for Defender for Cloud, and if I open this, yeah, here you can see 4 access resources, 0 attacks, and security alerts are 97 security alerts. So first thing that you need to do is going in the environment settings and choosing your subscription. Now, CSPM. So first you need to enable CSPM. Now in the CSPM also we have 2 things. First one is the foundational one, and second one is your Defender CSPM. It's just like a free and a paid version. So if I go here on the Defender CSPM, and if you want to see the different settings, you can see agentless scanning for machines, API, sensitive data discovery, API security posture management, serverless protection. So your CSPM will be taking all these components into the consideration. And CWPP, as it's your workload protection. So what you want to protect? You want to protect your servers, you want to protect your app service, databases, storage, containers, what you want to actually protect. Now, here you can see I have connected one of your server here, one of your virtual machine here. Now, if we go on the different alerts, so these are your security alerts. If I open any of the alert here, you will get its severity, what is the status, what is the alert description, updated time, and the affected resource. Similarly, if you go on the different one also, it will give you all your details. If you want to see the full details, just click on the full details. And you can see connection mode, what is the key type, who has detected it, what is the name, which is a database, so it's a sample database, container name, what is the investigation step, and everything. Azure resource, which IP is there, what is the network connection, everything you will get once you connect with the Defender for Cloud. So Defender for Cloud is one of the services which help you to protect the different workloads. Second, we are moving on the endpoint protection. Now, endpoint, which is your Defender for endpoint. Now, for Defender for endpoint, your device need to be onboarded. That is a prerequisite. So if I go on the security portal, so this is your security portal. If you see, you can also navigate if you have the role and the concern license. So it will be security.microsoft.com. Once you are landed on this particular page, you can see all the details. You will be having home, exposure management, investigational response, threat intelligence, assets, Microsoft Sentinel, identities, endpoints, email and collaboration, cloud apps, cloud security, and so on. Here also you will be able to manage the workloads, but right now it's under preview. So if you want to protect your workloads, if you want to see the different recommendations, what you need to do right now, you need to navigate to the Azure portal. That is the only option we are having. Now, first one was your endpoint, which is your Defender for endpoint. Now, as I said, your device need to be onboarded. So onboard your device. After onboarding your device, you can give the protection. Now, let's again go to the slide deck. So we have seen the demo for the same. Now it's your Sentinel, but first I want to explain the different capabilities of your Defender. Now, first is the endpoint. Second we'll discuss will be your email and collaboration, and then the cloud apps. Now, when all these services will be connected, whether it's your devices, whether it's your identities or cloud apps, everything you can see in the assets area. If I click on the asset, you can see devices, you can see identities, you can see applications, cloud, and AI agents. Now, AI agents and your workloads are under preview, so you will not be able to see any of the AI agents, but we can see devices, we can see applications, and we can see the identities. Now, I have onboarded one of the device here. So if I click on that device, you can also see base 23B, which is connected to my service. So if any attack has happened on device, that attack will come up here. You can see one of the attack has already happened, which is defense evasion incident on one endpoint. What is the timeline? So the complete timeline will come. No. Who has accessed this device, from where he has accessed it, complete logs will be represented here. If I go under the configuration, if any of the configuration I need to do, any of the security policy I need to configure, that or configured, that will come up here. If I go in the overview once again, you can see the risk level, which is your medium. If any of the security assessments is there, any logs has happened or not. Then comes your identities. Right now, we will be having only the Azure identities, but for, let's say, I want to go with AWS, I want to go with on-prem, you need to connect. So these are your cloud identities, which is your Azure identities. If I go in the applications, it will list all the applications which you are using in the environment. You can see 15 untagged high-risk applications are there. One untagged traffic application is there. You can see all the application, GitHub, Gmail, Google, Adobe, and many more. If I go in the cloud, cloud will be your workloads. So it's not connected till now. Now, after onboarding your device, whether it's your Windows, whether it's your Mac, now the security which you will get will depend on the device category. Let's say I have onboarded a Windows device. So for the Windows, you will be getting different capabilities. If I have onboarding a Linux device, for the Linux, you will be getting different capabilities. Now, first one is a vulnerability management under your endpoint. Now, vulnerability management, what do you understand by vulnerability? Vulnerability means weakness. So how I can handle the different weaknesses, or we can say loopholes. Now, loopholes, it can be a software based, it can be a hardware based, any loophole, any sort of weakness, it will list me. It will give me which device is having that weaknesses. So if I go under the vulnerabilities section, let it come. Now it will take some time to look for your vulnerabilities, and it will give you the score. 70%, 10%, 10 out of 100, 20 out of 100. So how you can improve that score? If you're having low score, it means your service, your endpoint is secured. So our agenda will be to minimize this score. And how I can minimize that score? For that also, you will be getting the recommendations that you need to do this, and accordingly, your device will be remediated. Second is the attack surface. Now, attack surface will tell you what attack can happen on a device. Now, attack surface, or we can say the attack surface reduction, will only be applicable to your Windows device. It's just a malware-based policy. That's it. How you can remediate it, how you can improve it. If I go under the configuration and dashboard, let me show you some of the ASRs. Let me create a new policy. If I go under the platform, Windows, and choose ASR, which is attack surface reduction rule, create the policy, give it a name. Now, these are the different rules which you need to configure. Block execution of potentially obfuscated scripts and so on. So these rules need to be configured, and it can protect your environment. So this is the endpoint. Then we have cloud applications. That means to control the IT shadow discovery. Now, what do you understand by IT shadow discovery? Let's say there is an application known as a ChatGPT or Telegram, or let's say WhatsApp. And without the permission of your IT team, you are accessing that application. So it can be controlled. Your IT team can mark that particular application as an unsanctioned application. And after marking that application as one of the unsanctioned application, the system or the IT team or your security team will know, okay, Ramesh is there who is accessing the WhatsApp, or Rahul is there who is accessing your ChatGPT, or who is accessing your Telegram. All the applications will be listed here. So if you see the cloud app catalog, it will give you all applications. You can see 37,000 applications are already there. And you need not to add any of the application in the cloud app catalog. It is added by the Microsoft team. So you just need, what you need to do, just mark any of the application as a sanctioned application or as an unsanctioned application. Next thing that comes into the picture will be the office. Now, if I'm, let's say, I don't want my organization to get any sort of a spam mails or non-spam mails, you can configure, you can protect, or you can protect your environment from it. If I show you the settings, or if I go in the system area, then we have settings. Now, under the settings, we will be having email and collaboration. Let it come. Okay, let me navigate from here. Policies and rules, thread policies, preset policies. You can see built-in protection, which will be given by to each and every employee, and you can't change it. Standard, you can design it. Okay, IT team will have the standard protection. HR team will have the different kind of protection. So in the standard protection, you can protect it from spam, phishing, and malware threats. If you're having strict protection, it is used for your VIP users. So if you want to protect it, same, you will be protecting against the links, the attachments, phishing and malware, but the approach or the backend machine learning models which is used will be different. So here there will be a strict protection which you can use for the top level executives. So this is a small glimpse, or we can understand Defender as one of the security suite which is helping you in providing the security. Now, next tool which we are using is your Sentinel. Now, Sentinel is also a security suite which will also help you in providing the security, but it is your SIEM tool as well and your SOAR tool. Now, SIEM stands for your security information and event management, and SOAR stands for your security orchestration, automation, and response. Now, when I want to use Sentinel, it's your Azure product. You need to remember this. Or let me just scroll down. First thing that you need to remember that it's your Azure product. Now, whenever I say Azure product, it means you will be requiring its respective subscription. It is your SIEM solution also and SOAR solution also. Now, what does SIEM and SOAR? SIEM is basically to collect the data from different resources. Now, it can be a Microsoft one, it can be a non-Microsoft one, it can be an on-prem also. I want to receive the logs from, let's say, firewalls or servers or my client devices, Defender for endpoint, Defender for cloud, or I want to receive the logs from AWS, GCP, Cisco. Anyway, I can receive the logs using the SIEM. Second is the SOAR, setting up the automation, setting up the automated response. Let's say if a person is having 5 failed logins, lock his account. Or if the person is trying to do an impossible travel means, let's say at 9 a.m., someone logged from India. And at 9:10, its location is detected as USA, which is not possible. It's an impossible travel. So in this particular scenario, please ask for the MFA. So that will be an automated response that I want to do. Now, how I can do it, how you're connecting the data sources, which can be discussed in the further sessions as it's on a fundamental. So we will be just discussing that what actually Sentinel is. Now, you might be confused. Okay, Sentinel is also there, which is providing the security. And we are having Defender also, which is also providing the security. But what's the difference? Let me give you an easy example. Let's say there is an building. We can say it's a IT campus. One of the colleges there. Now, in this particular campus, there will be multiple buildings. Let's say one building is there for the CS department, one building is there for the civil department, one building is there for the EC department, and one building is there for your management. Now, if you want to provide the security to this particular campus, what you will do? Think of easy. You will be doing the fencing, for example. Okay, fencing is done on the boundaries. Apart from fencing, You can think of, let's say I will be appointing the watchman, and we have attached the watchman also. Let's say we are having still, okay, the security will be there 10%. I want to increase the security. So what you can do, you can assign the watchman at each building. Okay, now still there we can reach from 10% to 50%. Now again, to enhance the security, we will be going with, let's say, CCTV. So you install the CCTV in each building. Who will be doing the real-time monitoring? Who will be watching on what the students are doing? Which door is open, which AC is on, or someone is trying to bully anyone. So it will be a video from where your we can say your watchman can see it and can take the action. Let's say the IT server room is there, where the AC is on. So this watchman can see it and he can go there, and if you want to switch it off, he can switch it off. Similarly, if we talk about in terms of security, your watchman will be your defender, who will be looking on the different logs, and your CCTV will be your sentinel, which will be fetching the data, which will be doing the video conferencing, which will be looking on what the different data sources are doing. Now, data sources, as I said, it can be AWS, it can be your Microsoft one, non-Microsoft one, cloud, or on-prem. So it will be looking on those data sources with the help of the defender, stopping it and setting up the automation. Now, to work with Sentinel, let's say you might, if you are from the IT background, you know what is SQL. One of the query language will help you in work with the different databases, or we can say tables. Similarly, when Sentinel is there, when Sentinel will be fetching the logs, it will be storing in the tables. Let's say the first log is from the endpoint devices, second log is from the application. So different dedicated tables will be created for the same. Now, if I want to communicate with this table, I need some language, I need some way in which I can communicate with it. So for it, we will be using the KQL, one of the language which help you to communicate with the different logs. And KQL stands for Quisto Query Language, which is a way in which you can communicate. If you want to set up any automation, you can set up any sort of automation. If you want to do some sort of a detection, you can do some sort of detection. So Sentinel have 4 steps. First step will be the data collection. Collecting the data from various data sources. Second one will be your detection. Detecting the suspicious behavior from the connected data sources. Third step will be your investigation. And fourth step will be your automation. Now, data collection, as I said, collecting the data from various data sources. So it should be connected. So here we are using the connectors. Then we are using detection for detecting the suspicious behavior for the connected data sources. So here you will be writing the analytical rules. Investigation, after detecting any sort of a suspicious behavior, is that behavior is harmful for the organization, for that asset, you need to investigate it, or it's just an information based. So you will be doing the investigation for the same, and if that investigation is turned to be harmful, or we can say if you found that the alert is dangerous for the organization, you can also set up the automation so that in future, if someone is trying to do that, it can be stopped then and there only. So this is all about module 3. Stay tuned for the module 4, where we will be discussing on the data protection, how you can protect your data. Till now, we have seen the asset, we haven't seen the information. In the next session, or in the next video, we will be discussing on the data protection, how to protect your information.
We hope this module helped you understand the role of Microsoft Defender, Microsoft Sentinel, Azure Security Services, and the core security concepts that help organizations detect, prevent, and respond to the cyber threats. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel.